Revere Engineer by Andrea Beatty, illustrated by David Roberts. This is the story of Rosie Revere, who dreamed of becoming a great engineer. In Leela Greer's classroom at Blue River Creek, young Rosie sat shyly, not daring to speak. But when no one saw her, she peeked in the trash for treasures to add to her engineer's stash. And late at night, Rosie rolled up her sleeves and built in her hideaway under the eaves. Alone in her attic, the moon high above, dear Rosie made gadgets and gizmos she loved. And when she grew up, sleepy, she hid her machines far under the bed where they would never be seen. When Rosie was young, she had not been so shy. She worked with her hair sweeping over one eye, and made fine inventions for her uncles and aunts, a hot dog dispenser and helium pans. The uncle she loved the most was zookeeper Fred. She made him a hat to keep snakes off his head, from pants of a fan and some cheddar cheese spray, which everyone knows kept pythons away. And when it was finished, young Rosie was proud, but Fred slapped his knees and chuckled out loud. He laughed till he wheezed, his eyes filled with tears, all to the honor of Rosie Revere, who sat there embarrassed, perplexed, and dismayed. She looked at the cheese hat and then looked away. "I love it!" Fred hooted. "Oh, truly I do!" But Rosie Revere knew that could not be true. She stuck the cheese hat on the back of her shelf, and after that day kept her dreams to herself. And that is how it went until one autumn day, her oldest relation showed up for a stay. Her great-great-aunt Rose was a true dynamo who would work building aeroplanes a long time ago. She told Rosie tales of the things she had done and goals she had checked off her list one by one. She gave a sad smile as she looked to the sky. "The only thrill left on my list is to fly, but time never lingers as long as it seems. I'll chalk that one up to an old lady's dream." That night, Rosie lay wide-eyed in the bed. A daring idea crept into her head. Could she build a gizmo to help her aunt fly? She looked at the cheese hat and said, "No, not I." But questions are tricky, and some hold on tight, and this one kept Rosie awake throughout the night. So when dawn approached and red streaks lit light, young Rosie knew just how to make her aunt fly. She worked and she worked till the day was half gone, then hauled her cheese copter out onto the lawn to give her invention a test just to see the ridiculous flop it might turn out to be. Strapped into the cockpit, she flied on the switch. The heliocopter sputtered and twitched. It floated a moment and whirled around and round, then froze for a heartbeat and crashed onto the ground. Then Rosie heard laughter and turned around to see the old woman laughing and slapping her knee. She laughed till she wheezed, her eyes filled with tears, all to the honor of Rosie Revere, who thought, "Oh no, never, not ever again will I try to build something to sputter or spin, or build with a lever, a switch, or a gear, and never will I be a great engineer." She turned round to leave, but then Great-Aunt Rose grabbed hold of young Rosie and pulled her in close and hugged her and kissed her and started to cry. "You did it! Hooray! It's perfect first try! This great flop is over. It's time for the next." Young Rosie was baffled, embarrassed, and perplexed. "I failed," said dear Rosie. "It's just made out of trash. Didn't you see it? The cheesecopter crashed." "Yes," said Great-Aunt. "It crashed, that is true. But first, it did just what it needed to do. Before it crashed, Rosie, before that, it flew." "Your brilliant first flop was ragging success. Come on, let's get busy and on to the next." She handed a notebook to Rosie Revere, who smiled at her aunt as it became all clear. Life might have its failures, but this was not it. The only true failure can come if you quit. They worked till the sun sneaked away to its bed. Aunt Rose tied her handscarf around Rosie's head and sent her to sleep with a smile ear to ear, to dream the bold dreams of a great engineer. At Blue River Creek, all the kids in grade 2 built gizmos and gadgets and doohickeys too. With a perfect failure, they all stand and cheer, but no one quite as proud as Rosie Revere.